Legrand here. We're touching on continuing on our series, targeted Christians and individuals, covert harassment, and as you can see on the the point is to say that there are many persons who are suffering in silence and they don't have the bravery to come out and talk about it. But the Lord has given me a voice, has given me a platform, He has given me an experience, and I'm here to talk about something that is happening to many persons in a very subtle manner, but they are not able to talk about it, not able to defend themselves. Because I find, and as you can see on the cover, the thumbnail, it says what? Menacing, hijacking, hacking, surveillance, gang stalking. There's just so many elements of it that makes the whole process an overload for one person. And the whole idea is that the enemy has come down with great wrath, for no, it hath but a short time. And so we have to be very careful in these last days. And I find that it's something that as Christians, we often is not commonly addressed. But at times I look at the videos online, I see that there are many persons who have experienced it, are echoing it. And so I just want to kind of touch on this very important topic, a Trini trend. And the reason why I label it such is due to the fact that it's something that I observe happening in my family. So for those of you who don't know, my mother married a gentleman from Trinidad. During the year 2023, I was poisoned. And during that time, while I was poisoned, the but that's not the point. I want to identify the three elements as to why the title is a Trini Trend. So my mother is married to a man who is Trini. The guy I'm now working with, who is very much, as I said, it's as though I'm in a position where I'm working for this agent of Satan, whether it's a state agent, Freemason, or a pagan. And then now a ministry I worked with in the past, who they invited me to preach, is also a Trini, right? It's a ministry in Brooklyn that invited me to preach down there. The guy currently working with right now is also from Trinidad. And my mother is also married to a man from there. Now she came down with cancer. My mother came down with cancer. And after, because remember, my motivation was never to move back in with my mother, because I said, do not marry this gentleman. Leave him alone. I gave her my advice. As a matter of fact, I was coming from Tennessee about that time. I was coming from Tennessee and I didn't go to the wedding, right? So I want you to understand the Trini trend. My mother, married to a Trini. The guy I'm currently with is, his mother is a Trini, his father is an Italian. So you have an Italian father and his mother is a Trini, but he has connections to Trini, so he still goes there. Grew up in Brooklyn. The church, the ministry that I work with, that was in Juris, that I preached at, that I helped, also the leader from there in Brooklyn is a Trinidad, is a Trini individual. So there's a Trini trend. So they say that paranoia, it is not paranoia when you're able to identify trends. It is not paranoia when you're able to identify trends. So that's one. But then notice the term, a poisonous Trini trend. In each instance around these Trinidadians, myself was poisoned, and based on the story and the food that I left there, I am the first person that went back there. I'm the first person, that was the first thing I ate that day. Yes, that's the point. The first thing I ate that day was that particular fruit. And I started to have some serious reactions that Sunday. I had some serious reactions, so I ended up had to go to the hospital during the week, right? The hospital said, we don't see any direct impact on the liver, but I know what was happening in my brain. So the whole headspace was getting a bit confused, can't speak, armpit sweating, stomach pain, All right, that's one. So this is when I was staying with my mother, and remember I had my own apartment upstate New York. And so I came down, and and something happened. I came down and I was helping her. Yes, that's it. I was helping her to go to treatment because she came down with cancer. While staying there, I recognized that this gentleman was not off. Just something was just real off about him and how he did everything. So now it turns out that I made up my mind to say, you know what? The person she's around is not really a safe person to be around. So what I did, I made sure that I did what I could to help her, take her to the treatment, do these little things. And at the same time, I was making a video about the financial sector reform that was taking place in Jamaica. I was making a video about the financial sector reform that was taking place in Jamaica because bolt money went missing during SSL. And I was showing persons that, listen, you don't know what you're being distracted by this, because Jamaica was rearranging their financial sector off of something that was less than 2% of the non-security sector. The amount of money that went missing is not enough for you to overhaul the financial sector. And I quoted Andre Arton, the economist, and while making that video, I noticed his attacks, his personal music being played, so many things to distract and to disrupt me, right? This same individual that I'm working with, whose mother is Trini, has ties to Trini, he also does the same thing when I'm working on or touching on some very important things. All right, so it's a constant attack, distraction, provocation, escalation. Those are the things that are practiced, right? But what makes this the Poisonous Trini Trend is the other day, a couple weeks ago, I was working and I didn't bring any water to work that day. And I asked his nephew to buy me some water or buy me orange juice. The nephew went, got the orange juice, came back. When the nephew went, got the orange juice, came back. I drank the orange juice and the top of my abdomen started to pain me. I drank the orange juice that the nephew brought back, and the top of my abdomen right immediately after I drank it started to pain me, that I was just crunching. And I'm like, what is this? This is a bit strange. I just asked the guy to buy the orange juice. I drank the orange juice, opened it, drank it, and the upper abdomen was just cramping. I was like bending like this. And then so I was running upstairs now to go use the bath. I felt like I needed to use the bathroom, so I was running upstairs to go use the bathroom. When I went upstairs to go use the bathroom, guess what happened? Running upstairs to go use the bathroom, I found it was him now. The gentleman I'm working with, he was up there, coming out of the bathroom with a grin on his face. Are you understanding me? Coming out of the bathroom with a grin on his face. So went in, I used the bathroom. And when I went home, I have a book, a bio book, and I looked at it. When upper abdomen is paining you, what are some of the causes? And it actually says poison. Are you getting me? It actually said poison. When your upper abdomen, one of the conditions that can lead to that is you were poisoned. The thing about it is that I could not. Yes, they brought the orange juice, but what evidence do I have to say that yes, the orange juice was tampered with by them? However, there's many things that I've experienced with this individual made me recognize that there is something off completely. Now you say, why don't you just get up and leave and go about your affairs? That is why I started the Facebook group targeted Christians and individuals. Is because there's a level of financial sabotage. There's a level of crippling your natural process so that you would cast yourself into more desperate situations when you try to step away from them. So this individual was flying out a lot initially. And then why can't I call somebody right now? you wouldn't believe it. My contacts, I don't have access to my contacts. A very unique set of circumstances that I'm faced with right now. But I am saying this not as somebody that has lost hope and is complaining. I am saying this because there are many persons out there who are experiencing things like this. There are many persons out there who are experiencing things like this, and they need someone to encourage them. I need someone to pray for them, because it is not an overt and open type of attack. It is a subtle, right in your very own household, right in your very own workplace, right in your very own church. You have persons who are doing these things. And then now I go to the third Trini that was the leader, that is the leader of the church in Brooklyn, that small ministry church in Brooklyn. The church one Sabbath had food poisoning. Church one Sabbath had food poisoning, and so persons vomited, persons were not in the best condition, some went home. So that's why this is called a poisonous Trini trend. And that is why I'm also saying that my mother coming down with cancer was also suspect. So thank God she's still here. She did what she needed to do. I pretty much left there, but I still keep close contact with there. So even some of my things are there. And it is very much for a reason, because I'm telling you that many individuals are carrying out all sorts of wickedness, whether it be for secret society purposes, enrichment purposes, kill you for insurance purposes. And so we have to be knowledgeable. The scripture says, lest Satan should gain an advantage over us, we are not ignorant of his devices. And that's a very important point. Lest Satan should gain an advantage over us, we're not ignorant of his devices. So I noticed the trend, right? And I noticed the same thing, because my mother used to say things, when I remember, as I said yesterday, my mother used to say certain things like, and you'd probably not take her too serious. You think she's a bit too stressed, you know, a bit paranoid, paying too much attention to every little thing. But that is the point. They frustrate, the strategy is that they frustrate and confuse in such a way that even things that are seemingly naturally occurring, your brain being so stressed and abused, start to even point at natural things as a problem, because that is the outcome that they desire. Are you understanding me? So to the natural man that is not experiencing these things, you seem a bit off or you seem a bit loony, but that's not the point. The point is to get you to appear like this. And in Jamaica, they say, if you don't go so, it goes somewhere close to so. If you don't go so, it goes somewhere close to so. And so it is very important for us to recognize that there are things taking place, and you have to be prayed up. You have to be prayed up. You have to ask God to guide you day in, day out. Because there are evil people who worship Satan, who worship the God of money, and do not fear God. And as a result of that, they'll do anything. You don't know why or where you could have possibly offended them, but somehow you are a target. And so, and then, you know, to the point where I'm even questioning, because of the video I was producing and the articles I was writing during the COVID time, and the attacks that came, especially from this man, when I was with my mom when she had cancer, it makes me now wonder if the political party has anything to do, secretly behind closed doors. The political party, maybe the JLP, has anything to do with what took place. Because this man, though he's not a Christian, though he doesn't go to church, has connections, has persons, as though he's communicating with persons in the church, right? And I remember saying to my mother one time, you're saying that I haven't done this or I haven't done that, but how do you know that it is not his same people who are out there in the street blocking and fighting against me? I said this to her. How do you know it's not his same people who are out there in the street blocking and fighting against me. And as I'm going through these things now, I'm beginning to recognize that a lot of what my mother was talking about when I came here initially wasn't a matter of paranoia. It was a matter of legitimately so. Are you understanding me? But could not express herself in a way that could be understood or express herself in a way that could be appreciated. Are you getting me? And so I am now beginning to that is why I'm emphasizing this series. Join the Facebook group, Targeted Christians and Individuals. Follow the TikTok, Healthy Reforms on TikTok, because you'll get more information there. I haven't started posting on it as yet, but I think it's very important for us to, for me to start putting it out there so that you can jump on and we can start posting there. So right now, I don't have contacts to reach out to certain folks and stuff like that. So I'm just in a position wherein I'm just taking it one day at a time and asking God for his mercies. Just taking it one day at a time and asking God for his sustaining grace. That's just what I'm doing. And but as I say, monitoring, surveillance, financial sabotage, hacking, intimidation, you just talk about the whole 9 yards. And so they're able to sit down, assess a person, and see how they can cripple their efforts, cripple their endeavors, and make it seem like a natural person wherein you are either incompetent or lazy when that is far from the case. Are you understanding me? And so as Christians, we have to be much smarter and aware of the afflictions that is affecting men out there. And so, as I tell you, this individual I'm working with now is somebody that is known as, his wife is somebody that's known as church. They go around and do health presentations and health work. Are you getting me? And even though he's not leading out in that right now, he's doing construction, which is why I came here. But then coming here, seem as someone now who has now arranged a trap, arrange a device because talk about poisoning. I have another story for you guys, because that's a part of, I had a second means of income, and I lost that and ended up in debt because of something associated with this individual. So I have a very unique situation here, and I wanted to follow the series because I am in the midst of the great controversy. We're all in the midst of the great controversy, and we just cannot ignore the fact of what is taking place. I don't want the music to get caught in the audio and they strike the video. But what I'm trying to say, brothers and sisters, is that we have to recognize what is taking place and be vigilant, right? It can be a matter of fact. They make it seem like a matter of fact. You get placed in circumstances wherein your health is affected, and then it seemed like a natural process, but it was designed for you to be in that circumstance, to be affected this way, so that you can come out a certain way. And so the point is to say that we have to be prayerful, and we have to know how to encourage persons who are in the midst of these trials and difficulties, right? And so the time will come, eventually, maybe I'll let you guys know. But until then, keep me in prayer as I do the same for you. Because as you present the word of God, the Bible already says it, Satan has come down with great wrath, for he knows he has but a short time. Satan has come down with great wrath, for he knows he has but a short time. And the scripture also says in Revelation 12, the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. And as I said before, many of what is going on now, they are covertly planting different persons in the church, and they are interrupting and disrupting those who would present the truth in these last days. And so I am one of them, and this may well be my crucible, but I am in no way discouraged or hopeless. There's a lot more, but as I said, join the Facebook group, follow on Twitter, follow on TikTok, and you can also go and check out www.healthyreforms.com. We can sign up for the email list, all right? But as for now, God bless. Stay hopeful, stay prayerful. Until, bye-bye.